All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We're a little late. We are getting on now. We had a little technical difficulties when it came to hooking up our Zoom, getting on to Facebook Live. So we're just getting on right now, and so you can share. And we got an interesting conversation coming up about money. So you want to share it. You want to tell us that we got on and we're here. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being patient with us as we kind of work through a lot of our technical difficulties. It's kind of interesting that we actually went through the technology this afternoon, and some of you are online with us and kind of tweaking it. And of course, when we try to get on, when it's about maybe like 20 after 7, we just had a lot of technical difficulties. So this is kind of like plan B. And so we just want you to know that we appreciate you coming on. And as we start talking about money, we'll start talking about what the stimulus package and all the things that relate to us mean. I got Jacqueline Cooper on phone, and so you can hear her, but you probably won't be able to see her. We want you to make sure that you can ask the questions that you need to ask and things that come across your mind when it relates to money. So thank you for joining on BLAW Live. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Wow, awesome. Okay, so that we're making the most use of our time. We've, of course, heard about the stimulus package that we are now receiving from the government, and of course $2.2 trillion has been approved. And the question is, now that we're getting this some of this money personally, and some of my families are getting money depending on what category we're in, what's actually happening with the economy? What's happening with money? What's happening with jobs? What do we do if we have a very difficult time financially? So we want to introduce to some and present to others Jacqueline Cooper. She is the CEO of Financial Education Associates, and we want to allow her to just answer some questions. So if you do have some questions, you can actually send them to us, and we can do our best to forward those to her, and she can answer some questions for you. And as we talk it through, this is going to be a really good opportunity to get some information. Okay, so let's start off. Jackie, hello.
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, you might have to use your outside voice.
I gotta use my outside voice?
Yes, you do.
Can you hear me?
Can everybody hear her? If you can hear her, just put a Y for yes, or put a thumbs up if you can hear Jackie talking on the phone. If you can hear it, just give me some hearts, or give me some thumbs up if you can hear. That'd be great. Okay, Jackie.
Hey.
Okay, great. All right, the folks can hear you, so if you can just share some things about what do you think that's when it comes to what's going on when it comes to stimulus package? Are we in for a rude awakening at some point in terms of money, or is this something that we can somehow expect that they're going to be doing over and over and over again? What do you think?
I think it's very complicated. Right now I'm getting feedback. I can hear two things at one time, but I'm going to try my best to just kind of focus. I don't know if it's going to happen over and over again. I mean, this is trillions of dollars. And I don't know if
you don't know if it's a good time to invest. What we can't hear you. So what's happening?
Oh, right now I can't. I'm hearing two things at one time.
Okay, you might have to shut down the computer and just use the phone.
No. Oh, okay. That's what I will do.
Your phone is feeding back on your computer, so just shut down your computer. When you shut down your computer, you'll be all set.
My computer's not talking, but I'll do that. The volume's done on my computer. Let me see.
Hey, James, how are you?
I'm back.
Okay.
I won't watch my screen. So this is what I think is happening. I think right now somebody has to do something because everything's looking really bad and they didn't know what to do. So we have an 800-page law that I have a copy condensed down to 45 pages. So you can tell that's not so small, even in its condensed form. And pretty much in a summary, it's trying to keep people paid both by giving, the lump sum payment and extending unemployment benefits. There is some health care issues within it to help in the fight against COVID-19.
Yep.
And economic stabilization. So they're trying to also help businesses stay open and pay their employees. And so there's a combination of things. It's not everything that everybody thinks it is. I guess one of the most popular things is, am I going to get my $1,200 from the government? And that depends. That depends if you've been filing your taxes, number one. Number two, people who owe child support can't partake in the money. Single people over $99,000 and couples earning over, I think it's 200. Mm-hmm. So, not everybody's going to get something. And I have a calculator that people can use that I got. Well, you can get it too from the Washington Post. The Washington Post put in a calculator that you can put in how much you paid in taxes. They're going to consider 2019 if you've already done it. Other than that, they'll do 2018 if you haven't done 2019. If you haven't done it at all, then you got a problem.
Okay. Is that something like a link that we could probably post on our website so folks could?
Yeah, I'll pass it on. I'll pass it on so that people can see how much they're going to get. Anybody who's a friend of mine on Facebook already saw it, but if you're not my friend, I will pass it on to the church.
Okay, so we'll do that, and so if you can friend Jackie, if you'd like to do that on Facebook. Or we will also put it on the website so that you can actually get that calculation done for your particular finances, and then you'll know exactly what you're going to receive from the government.
Or if you're going to receive anything at all.
Or anything at all.
Because that's the other piece of it.
And hopefully everybody will receive something.
Everybody will get something, hopefully, even if it's just a little bit. And then there's the part where they're giving small businesses money to retain their employees.
Yeah.
So they'll pay for your employees for up to 2 months salary, and it's a forgivable loan through the Small Business Administration, otherwise known as the SBA. Mm-hmm. And there's an application process for that. But once again, first of all, if you're a small business, of course, you have to have registered it. And in order to ask for the money, you're going to have a banking relationship with a bank who's doing the loans, because they're so inundated with applications that they're only taking applications from their customers. For example, some banks, you would have had to be a customer before February 15, 2020. So if you haven't had a business account at a bank, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to get something. Also, you have to have proof of income So you would have had to pay taxes on your business income. If you paid employees, you would have had to be giving them W-2s and show that you've paid your payroll taxes. So one of the things is it benefits people who have been doing the business thing all along, and everybody else is just going to have a difficult time trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you have to, I see a couple of questions in the box.
Yep.
And thank you for loving me.
There's a question that's in the box. What about investment right now? The question is now, is it a good time to invest, stock market, or even though it's kind of fluctuations are happening rapidly, is it a good time to put any money into the stock market?
Well, most advisors do money through what they call dollar cost averaging, which means you always put money in no matter what's going on, whether it's good or bad. You can't wait till it's at its best. I don't know if this is a good time, but if you're doing dollar cost averaging, you don't necessarily stop. You might look at what you're invested in and make some changes, but it's not a good time to have your advisor write one big check and take your money out. I wouldn't say that that's a great idea.
Okay. Well, will the money that we're receiving from this stimulus package, when it comes to tax time, the question is, will it be treated as income and taxed in the next year's filing, or is it forgivable? Was it a grant? What are they expecting out of us after it's all over?
What they are saying today is that it's not considered as taxable income. That doesn't mean that next year they won't have a question on the taxes. I remember the last time we got a stimulus check, the following year they asked us if we got that money. And I don't know if that was a survey question or did that impact I don't think it impacted our taxable income. Yeah. But you always, they can always change their mind. Yeah. So get the money, enjoy it. It's kind of like a eat, drink, and be merry for tomorrow, So get it, use it, to subsidize what you need to have going on in your house. Some of you may not be working. Some of you may have been cut hours. Some of you may have been cut pay. So, if you can put it away, then do that. And if you need to spend it to keep things going, you should do that too.
Okay. Thank you. The next question that comes up is it too late to complete the 2019 tax?
2019 taxes are not due until July 15.
Okay.
So anytime between now and July 15, you can submit your taxes for 2019. And that's for the federal and also Massachusetts state.
I see. Question. There's a question from a business owner. When it comes to the application, is there an application for the stimulus? Do you have to apply for that? There was a question for that, and I guess they may have popped in a little late. Could you just tell them about the application process to get some money if they need that money?
All right. So the $1,200 personal thing, there is no application process. Nobody can get it faster for you, and you have to be. I was also reading that there are a lot of scams considering, around that $1,200 piece. Right. So just wait until you get the check. Nobody can get it faster for you. There'll be no online application that people will send to you. You should not give out your personal information on the phone. All you can do is sit and wait for that. So, but for the business side, there is an application process that verifies that you have indeed been paying taxes on the income that you have, that you've been claiming that, and that you've been acting in good faith around that. So in an application I recently helped with, I had to do payroll records for the past year and this past quarter. And, just to show that what's the income for the organization. So there's a lot of questions about that. I don't think there's a lot of help yet around independent contractors. Yeah. I don't think that paperwork is out yet. Okay. So if your business is just you, I don't think that paperwork is out yet.
Okay. Thank you. A business owner asked a question that they were told that this is a brand new business just opened. And they're told that they didn't qualify for the small business loan because they don't have 3 years of tax returns. Is that something that...
They only needed last year's. Well, it depends on which loan you were trying to get.
They don't have a year in yet. They're just brand new, just opened up weeks before COVID-19 hit. Are they out, or is there anything that they can do?
I don't think they're covered because in the applications, they at least ask for all of last year's information.
Okay, so here might be a question where if you have those businesses that have just opened, what might be a solution for them to either get some help, especially if they hired employees and they started opening their doors, they have a leasing agreement, and they have all those other things that they have to do. Is there any way that they can get any support or help?
I would talk to my banker. I would talk to the bank that I have my business account in, to sit down with the manager or, whoever, the branch manager, and just sit down with them and see what might be available to you.
Okay. There's a question about the stimulus check. Is that based on your tax status?
Married or single, yes, it is. Married, single, head of household. There are different limits to getting, what your income could be to getting the check. For example, a single person, I think it starts at up to 75,000. I think it is. You get all of it, and then up to 99,000, it goes down. It decreases. I think a head of household, I think I saw 122, and for married couple, 150, diminishing to like 200. So there's not 100%, but you got to take a look at that calculator, because if you put your numbers in, you'll get that. And I think you get $500 per child.
So the calculator will help them out a great deal.
The calculator will help them. You just put in your numbers and they'll tell you, yep, nope, maybe, or expect a check for this.
Great. So we'll put it on a link on there on our website, but also if you friend Jackie on Facebook, she will make sure that you get it. All right. Sorry. All right, it's in the feed, so you should be able to see it in the feed. Great, thank you. One question is that they were disabled in 2019, and 2018 filing does not reflect their current income status. What might you say about that?
Say that again.
The question was, in case of a disability in 2019, 2018 filing does not reflect their current income status. So
I think the 2019, if it's already been filed, they would go by that.
Okay, so 2019, whatever you do for 2019, that's what they're going to be the hard stop in terms of what calculations they're going to make and what check to send, how much to send on the check.
That's one of the things that I was looking at also, because my 2018 and my 2019 taxes said different things. But I filed my 2019 last month, so okay. I was hoping that that's what they're going to look at.
Good. Question on unemployment.
Oh, wait, second. You know these people don't know what they're doing yet, right?
I'm sorry?
You know they don't know what they're doing yet. They can't really figure out how they're going to get this money out to people.
No, I know they don't. So this is why you got to be patient.
Right.
The money's not going to be there tomorrow, everybody. It's you got to be patient because they're trying to figure out how much to give who and figure out where everybody is. So it's a good reminder that as best as you can to comply with what the government would like from us when it comes to filing your taxes, making sure your businesses are registered, making sure you have bank accounts, because this is certainly a season by which we never thought we'd have, and it always helps to have everything in order. All right?
Also, one more thing. Your money will get to you faster if you've been filing, if you had your bank account on your taxes, either through payment or getting a refund. If you got checks in the mail all the time, it's going to be a little bit slower.
Great. For those of you just coming in and you're watching us, we're having a conversation about money, particularly on the stimulus package that our president and our government officials have authorized, and talking about how can we actually file for that, what's the qualifications, etc. So we're actually taking care of that. Okay. Let's go to next question. Is there an unemployment for sole proprietors? Is there something for unemployment for sole proprietors? So you have folks that are in the gig economy. You have people who are 1099ers. You have people who are just really doing a number of things. They're certainly getting paid. They probably file the taxes. And what does that mean for them? Contractors and all that.
I think I was on a call yesterday where they were trying to separate independent contractors from small business owners. Some people can collect unemployment and some people will have to go through the small business. I don't know the exact definition of who can collect unemployment. If I thought I might be able to collect unemployment, I would go to Massachusetts website. Their unemployment application is online, and they will ask you the questions that you need to answer to qualify for unemployment. So whatever they're asking, answer the questions honestly, and if you're eligible, then they'll calculate your payment, and if you're not eligible, then that's it for that one.
Okay. Now, for those of you who are in the Boston area, that the city of Boston has resources for business owners. Jonathan had put up a number of websites for you that you can actually check out to see if you qualify for those. We want to just make sure that you know that there are resources out there, and we're going to make sure that when we find out things for business owners and some tax information, that we redirect you to the proper resources. Okay. Let's see. One business owner said they were denied from unemployment because they were sole proprietor, and they're told that they're going to work on it. Is that something that they don't know what to do with that category of
the
folks?
System may not be set up for that, because under normal circumstances, a sole proprietor would not get unemployment. However, that's where it's like sole proprietor, small business owner, which one are you? But it's not set up for that yet, so you have to keep checking on it. Because not all the components of this is in effect. So, for example, when did this come out? March 27th.
Yes.
Okay. The small business, nonprofit small business piece didn't come out until last Friday. So they're rolling out pieces as soon as they can figure out how to program it and how to implement it on a federal and state level. So you just have to keep checking.
Mm-hmm. So let's go into a little bit focusing on, when it comes to your income, your cash that you have available, what's coming in, if there's anything coming in. How do we work out our inability to pay our creditors? I know there has been some things that have happened where it's almost like people are treating it like the year of Jubilee. So the context is the year of Jubilee was a time when they would have this year was like, okay, all debts are paid, everything is done. And because we've had this COVID-19, it's been told that, you know what, you can, don't worry about necessarily paying your car payment, or don't necessarily paying your, your mortgage. How do we work this out so that we're not getting into something that, is going to be dangerous for us when it comes to negotiating with our creditors? Could you talk about that a little bit?
Okay. So all of your creditors need to be notified by you that you are not able to pay. Every single one of them that you're not paying. I think there's some grace there with utilities, not including your cell phone.
Yeah.
So, like your gas, electric, they're not doing any shutoffs. All right. However, they still are repossessing cars. There's a moratorium on things, but the day after that, all bets are off. So if you are having a problem with anything from your mortgage, car payment, credit card, student loan, any bank loans, anything that you have that you make a monthly payment on, you need to call them and make arrangements, because the arrangement is formal. It's not, oh, they didn't pay, they must not have the money, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like they have to set their switches so that you don't go into foreclosure and you don't go into default. Call them, all of them.
So again, for those of you listening, please don't assume that you don't have to make any payments and don't have to contact your loan servicers. Make sure that you always contact them, tell them what your position is, and they will work out some options with you. Because if you don't, and it goes into default, that's not going to be something that's going to be very good for you in the long run. And if you need to get credit at some time going forward, these things are going to come back to haunt you. So you just want to make sure that you're taking care of that. Okay, great. When it comes to question about, let's go to a question. How should you start streamlining your budget? What's going to be the priorities?
You need to eat. You need to keep a roof over your head. So those, to me, would be my priorities. If you're on medication, you need to get your medication. So anything that's going to sustain your life, that's a priority. I usually once a year myself, I look at, what I've spent on things in the past year. And make some decisions about that. I have cut down my cable to basic. I did that back in January. I didn't know any of this was going to happen, but I had already cut that back. And for the difference, I'm able to pick up a small streaming service that works for me. So you don't have to have everything you had. You need to look at it. You need to look at your insurances and make sure that, understand what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And make some adjustments there.
Okay.
So those are the main things that I do. I just kind of look at what I spend on things to see if I can do better.
So when it comes to reductions in terms of what you can do to reduce your spending, is there anything that we can do right now to reduce our spending, even if it comes to our creditors willing to renegotiate our debt in paying interest? What are they willing to do? to help us to have more money to spend on those necessities?
I don't know about, okay, if you've been paying your bills on time, you may be able to renegotiate your interest rate. That's an important change. For me, most of my adjustment has come because I can't leave the house. You know, what do you spend daily on, like if you're not commuting to work and you got a T-Pass, that's $80-something right there. Mm-hmm. So there's different things that you can be saving money on if you're home. You're probably not eating out as much, which is not good for the restaurant business. But there's other things that you need to just kind of really look at in your life to make sure that you're not overspending and what you're spending is not, unnecessary.
So we actually should reduce spending in this climate, correct?
If you are not making as much money, then yes. However, I was listening to a money show, because that's mostly what I listen to. I was listening to a money show before our conversation, and one of the things that they said that if you still are getting paid, if nothing's changed for you, because some of us are home working and nothing has changed for us except for where we can go. Mm. You should still support small business because they're hurting. You may not eat out as often because it's a little bit more of a hassle to, order out, wait till it shows up in the whole bid. Yeah. But still support the restaurants that you would support if you were able to go out, if you were still making money. If you are not making money, you need to call your creditors, figure out your food thing, figure out your medication thing, and work that out. So everybody's really not in the same position. So I don't want people with money to stop spending and people with money to just, without money, to just stop going to restaurants. So look at your own situation and see what you can do to help the economy or to help your household.
Okay. And if a person doesn't have to file the taxes, correct? So just kind of listen. The person doesn't have to file their taxes because of the level of their income. Will they still get anything from the stimulus package? Is there anything for them?
Yes, I think first they're looking at people who file taxes, and then the next layer of people, they're looking at Social Security.
So there is a pecking order in terms of right. Who gets what and how quickly they get it.
How they can look at what, because you got to remember, the Social Security system and the IRS are not the same place.
I see. Okay. So is there anything that you might say when it comes to business owners and the shift that is happening? What I see is that we're not going to be able to go back to business as usual, and a lot of the economy is going to be impacted for the foreseeable future, because there are jobs that probably may not ever come back or come back in the same way. So what would you tell folks who are in service industries, hotel service industries, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, folks that actually were doing face-to-face services, businesses like hair salons and all these other businesses and small business owners? What would you say to them about looking at the shifts and how to really adapt their business models to accommodate, making money or, seeing profitable returns?
Wow, if I know all those things, then I'd be like a genius, but I don't. But one of the things that you can consider is, this is a really good time to really think about what your interests are. For those of you that can retrain, personally, I don't think the hair salon people are going to go out of business, because I think they're going to be more busy than they could ever stand to be once we can get out the house. I'm watching all the hair, nail issues that people are having now that they can't go to the salon. So I think as soon as things open back up, they should be fine. but also look at other skills and other ways that you can do things. I've seen a lot of people take their talents online, which is a challenge in itself, to learn how to use Zoom properly, how to use Facebook Live. And they're taking their talents online so that, it'll bring them business in the long run, because more people will know who they are. Retrain, take a course. There's so many things that you can do. There's short little courses that you could take on Teachable and Skillshare to learn how to do things. Certifications that people have been telling you to get that you haven't done anything about. A lot of those are digital and don't involve another person, so you can do different things. And some people are having really deep discounts because they know that a lot of people can't afford things. So get out there and try something new. That would be my advice. Good. I mean, for myself, I had to fully learn how to take myself and my instructors online for home buying classes, because I don't know when next we'll be able to go in a room. But people don't have anything to do, and I'm busy. So,
Great.
That's the thought.
Great. I think that's all the questions that we are going to be able to field for tonight. So thank you all for joining BLAW Live. We'll do a little bit more of this, and we'll have some folks on and just talk about different concerns that are really impactful to all of our lives. So just stay tuned as we start to roll it out. Again, our desire was to have it on Zoom, and so we're going to still work towards different ways of making sure that the broadcasts and things that we do on BLAW Live are really helpful to you. So if you like what you heard tonight and you want to hear more subject matter that will help us out, just let us know. And thank you so much for being a part of BLAW Live tonight and on tomorrow. I just want to let you know that we'll be on at 8:00, and we'll be doing the what I call the timeline, where we're looking at Jesus as he walks from Jerusalem all the way to the cross. And so join us tomorrow at 8:00 and 8 a.m. And so we'll be on at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And just thank you so much. So thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for really helping us out. Tonya is working really, really hard. So you want to give her some stars and some claps and some thumbs up, because Tonya McGrath is working so hard to really make sure our broadcasts are really going well. So thank you all. Have a great night. Thank you, Jackie, for your wisdom and insight. And good night. Get some rest and be safe. Take care now. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, guys.